Hey, welcome back, Reefers. So it's about time to actually start digging in and tuning this thing up. My first video on this aquarium was September 16th of 2025, so it's been several months since I started it, and I really wanted to take it easy and slow and not rush it, and give it time to build its biological environment, so it'll be stable when I finally did reach this stage. We're here now, so it's time to really start dialing this thing in. So as I've been chatting through this intro, I've been listing the things that I need to tune up on this aquarium. I've got several. pH fluctuations, nitrate and phosphate is too low, aquarium's too clean. The pH is too low, and my alkalinity, calcium, and magnesium are also too low. So let's take a look at all of them. If you would, please like and subscribe. It really helped me out, and I would much appreciate it. Okay, so the first thing, number one on the list here is pH fluctuations. So this is the Apex Fusion. So if we go in and take a look at pH, we can see these pretty sweeping changes in the pH. High here out of these few days is 8.23, and the low down to 7.73. I really don't want it to get this low, 7.73, and I really need to bump it up a bit, and we'll talk about how I'm going to raise the pH a little later in the video. But right now I want to eliminate these fluctuations as much as I can. I know there's going to be naturally fluctuations throughout the day. During the day, you can see this is 5 o'clock. This is 6 o'clock. So during the day, photosynthesis kicks in, and the aquarium starts, corals and aquarium starts consuming CO2, so the pH rises. Then at night, when the lights go out, the CO2 drops because photosynthesis stops. And so to kind of smooth this out, what I plan on doing is setting the skimmer so that it does not run during the day, just to kind of even these out. So I'm hoping that these tops are less toppy. It will overall lower the max pH that the aquarium sees, but my first step is just to try to balance this out and make this a more smooth wave. I don't know if adjusting the protein skimmer will actually make that much of a difference, but I'm going to give it a shot and see what happens, and I'll kind of report on what I see, by doing that. And my logic is that the protein skimmer is the single biggest source of gas exchange for the aquarium. So if I turn it off during the day, then maybe less CO2 will be introduced into the aquarium through the skimmer, but we'll see. So next on the list is nitrate and phosphate. I don't have a HANA checker for nitrate, but I use the API tester, and you can see here that this thing is clean as a whistle. Essentially zero, which is definitely lower than what I want. My target, I think, is going to be up to 5 parts per million for nitrate, and then phosphate would be 0.09 or something like that. So I did do a HANA test on the phosphate. I did not get a picture of it, but I did record it in Apex. You can see here is 0.03. So with practically zero nitrate and 0.03 phosphates, I need to raise those up a bit. If you take a look at the water changes I do every night, I have it scheduled to do water changes every night from midnight to 6 a.m. To remove 7,500 milliliters, and that's about 2 gallons a night. So I'm doing about 14 gallons a week on a 163 gallon aquarium, so that's less than 10%. So, I can reduce this, but I really don't want to, I may end up doing that, but if I don't do that, then I may have to supplement for nitrate and phosphate, which I really don't want to do. But one thing, I mentioned the pH and turning the skimmer off at night, so maybe turning off the skimmer, during the day. Maybe turning off the skimmer during the day will kind of help edge that up a little bit. I don't know. I'll have to keep track of it, and if the skimmer doesn't do anything, I may have to reduce the water changes that I do nightly or weekly, and see if I can bump that up a little bit. I'm just going to touch on pH too low a little bit. I kind of discussed this earlier. I think that hopefully with the action I'm taking with the protein skimmer, my pH is going to level out at a little bit lower than what we're peaking at here. But the goal is to bump up the pH overall. I'm not really going to work on that yet. I do want to try to reduce these swings a bit. I'm not going to really work on getting the pH up until I have gotten the calcium alkalinity and magnesium in check. Once I have that in check, then if this pH doesn't look any better, then I may use a CO2 scrubber. But the disadvantage with CO2 scrubbers is that the media gets exhausted pretty quick, so that's going to bump up the regular cost of maintaining the aquarium. I have been watching Inappropriate Reefer here lately. He's got some good videos. Several years ago he mentioned where you can use alternative media for the CO2 scrubbers, so I may end up looking at that and going down that route. So the last set of tunables I need to adjust are alkalinity, calcium, and magnesium. You can see all three here are pretty low. Alkalinity I want at around 9, calcium around 450, and magnesium 1350 or so. I just installed this Trident yesterday, and when I first set it up and after it took its first measurement, I thought that it was way off. I saw that alkalinity of 6.33 and I was like, man, that is BS. However, I did take a reading with the Hanna checker and it pretty much lined up. Same with magnesium. Calcium, I always have trouble with the calcium test. I always tend to screw it up, and I read initially on my calcium test around 550, and then I tested it again and I was like 425, so I don't really trust my measurements, and since it was pretty close on alkalinity and magnesium, I'm just going to go with this here. After thinking about it a little bit, I do believe that first I did test the water that I was using in the Hanna tester for calcium. I used my RODI water, and it had dissolvable solids at about 1 part per million, and for me that's good enough. And then I was thinking about it a little later on, and I'm pretty sure that I used the same syringe from an earlier test that had water from the aquarium, and then for the calcium test there's a various like 0.1 milliliters of aquarium water as the sample, and if I had a little bit of aquarium water in the syringe that I used for the test, it could have thrown the test off quite a bit, considering how small how small the sample is of aquarium water that the magnesium test uses. Ultimately, my plan for getting these in check and to the levels that I want is the Reef Dose 4 and the 4-part system from RedSea. So that's on deck, and most likely will probably be the next video. So despite these adjustments I need to make, the aquarium is doing very well. The only corals that are a little bit ticked off are the ones being crop dusted by my bullet goby. But he's going to do what he's going to do. I'll just have to adjust to him. And I have some acropora coming soon, so this is the reason why I have this push to tune up the aquarium. So Watch out for the next video, and we'll see you soon.